Welcome to the Man Cave, Wistful Vistas, beautiful suburban San Diego, California. A wonderful golden afternoon here in January, about 75 degrees F. I think that's plus 20 C. I'll let you metric people out there tell me exactly what that is. But in any case, just a wonderful day, great day. Putzing around in here, that's a local term for just having some fun with some technical things. And what I wanted to do was to get some sound measurements between the two machines, the Ducati and the Aprilia. I did that according to SAE standards as published in a magazine. The thing that I did not comply with, you're supposed to check the listening device or the dB meter at about 18 inches and 45 degrees from the exhaust, and you're supposed to measure it actually half the maximum RPMs of the machine. That would be about 9,000 RPM in the case of the Ducati, or 8,000, something like that, and about 7 or so thousand in the Aprilia. I spared my neighbors that. They are already looking at me like I'm a crazy old guy riding around. But I did it at idle, both of them but about 1,000 RPM. You'll see the results, but there was a surprising outcome. And I also just measured the ambient noise in the neighborhood, and that came in at about, I think it was 35 or 36 to about 40 dB. So even when you think it's very quiet, perfectly quiet, there's no such thing as perfect quiet, really. But there's that noise in the background. So what I want to do is just look now and see what just the garage. I'm not going to talk, but just the garage with no voice. What is the ambient background? 35 to 36 decibels. I'm not sure if you'll be able to see that. When I speak, it kicks it up into the 40s. I think I read normal conversation is somewhere around 60 decibels. Now, what I have running in the garage right now that makes the most noise is the hot water heater there in the background. So let's get on to it. We'll test the sound on these two machines, and you'll see, as I found out, it was a rather surprising outcome. Okay, apparently we're recording. So I'm recording a sound test with the Ducati. I may have to do this voiceover later on because this mic is really loud. And the purpose is I'm trying to establish what I face with just stationary, let alone at road speeds with this machine. So according to Hot Bike magazine, you are supposed to measure the exhaust 18 inches away, 45 degrees, and at the same height as the exhaust pipe. So that's what I'm trying to do here. And currently right here we're reading 89 and 90, 91, about the same amount as my air compressor. So I'm going to set this on the rolling bench here. Put it 45 degrees maybe, which is about half a meter, which is supposed to be, I'm going to say half meter is 18 inches, 17, 18 inches. And right now it's reading 99 and 100 decibels. So that's very loud. That's well above any threshold. Now on the bike with the helmet on, I'm not going to receive that sound level, but I just wanted to get the native sound of this machine. I let it warm up for a little bit so that any idler computer-controlled things would slow down. But it's running along at about 90, runs from 98 to 100 decibels. And we're idling at about 1,000 or so RPM. Now getting some heat off the machine. Okay, we got that done. All right, measured the Ducati at rest. By the way, the manual also says that you should test this at half the maximum engine speed, which in the case of the Ducati is about 8,000 or so, 9,000 RPM. I'm not going to do it for the sake of my neighbors. In fact, I'm going to shut this off real quick just for my neighbors. Can you see me? Can you see me? Catching me undoing all this stuff. So I'm going to swap the Ducati for the Aprilia and see if I can get a sound check on the Aprilia. Now these are done at idle, as I say. So the Ducati, I'm not sure if my voiceover with the bike running will come through, but the Ducati was idling above 1,000 RPM and was pulsing pretty consistently 98 to 100 decibels at idle. Again, you're supposed to measure that speed 45 inches with the sound measurement, 45 inches and about 18 or so inches, half meter away from the exhaust and at the same level. And don't get all scientific on me and tell me that I've got it all wrong here. This is a garage job. I'm just trying to get some relative numbers here. So stand by. We're going to wheel the Aprilia out and give that a try. Let's try that again. I just thought I had the camera on video, but I was on photo actually. So we're going to compare the Aprilia in contrast to the Ducati. The Ducati was running about 89, 90 decibels at idle with the prescribed method from SAE per Hot Bikes magazine. Now we're going to try it with the Aprilia sound recording device approximately at the same height as the exhaust itself and approximately 18 or so inches out. So let's crank it up and see what we get. By the way, just the neighborhood sound. Now I'm going to be quiet for a second because it's going up to about 60 decibels with my voice over here. I'm going to be quiet and let the neighborhood sound come through. 34 to 36 decibels is just the ambient sound that we live with in a very quiet neighborhood. So I'm going to fire up the Aprilia. There she goes. Right off the bat, the Aprilia jumps to 95 decibels, considerably louder than the Ducati, and it's idling at 91 to 93 decibels. Again, considerably louder than the Ducati. You have to remember the decibel meter is a logarithmic increase, so it's 10 times each increment up. So it's considerably louder than the Ducati. Quite a puzzlement to me. I have no explanation for it. Both bikes are warm. Both bikes are just running at idle. Let me check the RPM here on the Ducati. Yeah, sorry, on the Aprilia. I'm checking the RPM on the Aprilia. Yeah, both are idling about 1,000 RPM, which makes some sense here. So that's our experiment on just, let's call it the beginning noise. Once again, SAE says it should be half the sound should be measured at half the maximum rev range, which on the Aprilia would be somewhere around, let's say, somewhere around 6,000 or 7,000 RPM. We're just running at 1,000 at idle. So there you have it. Okay, back in the garage here. Surprising outcome with the measurement of sound, idle sound from these two machines. I've always thought that the Ducati was louder, not just a little louder, much louder than the Aprilia. Completely wrong. The Aprilia is louder by a couple, anywhere from 2 to 5 decibels. The meter happens to move around a lot. Don't know why that is. The Ducati has a higher note, I think, in the octave range or in the range of sounds. The Aprilia has a little bit of a deeper note. which a deeper note, a bass note, is a bigger sound wave, and perhaps that is how it comes across louder, but quite a surprise. So the next part, I've got a couple of earplugs, a couple new earplugs that I've purchased that I want to try out, and I want to get those out on the road and check them out with the two that I have defaulted to. I did an earplug vlog a couple, 3 years ago, and it was very popular, and I want to update that and give you my experience. The lacking piece is going to be that I don't know how to measure the ambient sound inside my helmet once I'm riding. I don't know how to do that. I'd have to put the phone inside there or something. But in any case, it's not going to be any quieter, for instance, than it would be at idle in the back here. And add to that the wind noise, of course. So hope you find this interesting. It's a fun little project for me. I'm enjoying doing it. And remember, take care of your ears, by the way. Just a note, as motorcyclists, you should. All right, let's go unpack this video and see what we see.